Hello again. My name is Ron Poters and I'm responsible for bringing the Microsoft Cloud to Belgium. Last time we spoke about how cloud is powered by data centers, large physical buildings that we fill with some of the most innovative and energy efficient servers to compute on data and the latest generation of disks to store data. In fact, Microsoft has over 4 million servers worldwide across our data centers and over 40 million disks that store a total of 40 exabytes of data. That's a lot of bytes. You or your company can borrow some of our compute and our storage for a monthly fee. So you don't have to invest in expensive compute infrastructure, you don't have to worry when things break down and you have the risk of losing data, and you have access to the latest in cybersecurity. That is what cloud is. Take for instance the Federal Public Service of Justice. Judges, lawyers and others that work here in the heart of Brussels every day are increasingly using the cloud for efficiency, for collaboration and to store, process and reason over large amounts of data. Hey Jimmy.
Welcome Ron. Welcome in the biggest judicial building in Europe. Follow me and we'll have a look around.
So Jimmy, where are we here?
This is the solemn courtroom of the highest court in Belgium, the Court of Cassation, Cassatie.
Jimmy, we have been talking with a couple of companies and organizations about what cloud means to them. How important is cloud for you and the future of justice?
At the Federal Public Service of Justice, we've opted for a cloud-first strategy. That means that for all applications, tools, data, we try to store them, if possible, in the cloud. We use cloud, we've chosen that strategy because the ICT is moving very fastly and also the demands and wishes of our users, our customers, is constantly changing and growing. Cloud offers us the agility, the scalability and the security to answer that demand.
You already alluded to it and you're working with a lot of sensitive data. How important is cybersecurity for you and how you're dealing with that?
Cybersecurity is very important for justice. We store and manage a lot of sensitive and confidential data about persons, court cases, evidence, investigations, and we have to make sure that that data is protected against hacking. Before Corona, we used perimeter defense. That means we defended our outside. It was called Security as a Service, SECaaS, a contract we had together with the Federal Public Service of Finance and done by Proximus. With Corona, people are now working distant from home, so we had to change our strategy and we're now using endpoint protection. We're protecting the devices from which they connect to our data. And for that we're using cloud security service, for example.
To some people, justice has a reputation of being slow, complex, bureaucratic maybe. How is digitalization going to change that perception?
Well, it's correct. The image of justice that the citizen has is the pile of paper dossiers on the desks of the judges, long and lengthy paper procedures, court cases which go on for years and years on end. For now, a few years now, we've been working on digitalizing everything to have faster procedures, judicial procedures, to have more transparency, to be able to grow faster and be more agile in several ways. A good example of that is Just on Web, our now new digital portal on the internet, which allows, for example, citizens and partners to consult and have an extract of their civil status online, to find a translator or a judicial expert, consult judicial files, for example, look up a police court order, or pay, for example, the most known one, their traffic fines. And we're still expanding that system. We're also running a multi-year program called Digital Transformation, funded by European credits, to go really to a digital way of working at justice. The most visible one, for example, is something that's being rolled out the coming months, that is doing court cases by video conference.
Artificial intelligence is the talk of town. Are you using this already within Justice, and what do you have in store for the near future?
For the moment, we're rarely using AI at Justice, simply because we want to be sure that it's done in a safe way. Every time when there's something in the news about AI, an accident with a self-driving car or ChatGPT, for example, the discussion flares up again. But we have to be sure. In the past, there have been discrimination bias problems with AI algorithms because of bad training data or bad use. So when we want to apply it at Justice, we have to be sure 100% that it's correct. That doesn't mean we're not looking at AI. For the moment, there's a big project going on where we're going to publicize all the judgments on the internet, starting from next year. Those documents contain a lot of sensitive personal information that we have to remove before publicizing it. And that we're doing using natural language processing and AI algorithms. Important for us here is that the algorithms are going to help the user. They're not running on autopilot. There's still going to be a human with his hands on the wheel who's going to authorize and validate everything the algorithm is proposing to him.
Okay. And finally, why is it important for Justice and the federal government as a whole that Microsoft is investing in data centers here in Belgium?
Well, we store a lot of data about our citizens, about court cases. We have to do that in a safe and secure way, following Belgian and European laws. By Microsoft, by investing in data centers in Belgium, they're going to have to follow also those Belgian and European rules about protecting their personal data, personal information. And that gives us a way to show to our consumers, our citizens, that their data is protected, is safe, and have them have extra trust in the Belgian government and in the way we're storing and using their data.
Thanks for your insights.
No problem. Thank you very much.
You might recognize this iconic landmark behind me. We're here in the port of Antwerp, and this is the headquarters of the port of Antwerp-Bruges. As the second largest seaport in Europe, the port is a bustling ecosystem of companies in supply chain, transport, shipping, manufacturing and energy, and also more and more innovative technologies. I'm here at the Nautical Operational Center of the Port of Antwerp-Bruges, and I'm here to talk with Erwin Verstralen.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Hey Erwin. Erwin, the port is a sprawling ecosystem of companies. What is the role of digital technology in all of this?
Well, the role of digital technology is to create a smart port. And what does that mean? It means 5 things. First of all, to go for integrated port operations, and the focus is on integrated. Adaptive modal shifts, and the focus is on adaptive, and those 2 things hint at the role of digital in providing accurate and timely data sets. But also the flip side, which is cybersecurity, which we take very seriously, and then to reduce impact on ecology and climate, and finally to surround yourself with digital talent and build ecosystems.
Hey, I heard the port is building what we call a digital twin.
Yes, that's true.
What is that, a digital twin, and why do you need one?
Well, why do we need one? The starting point is very simple. We are the Port Authority. We're responsible for safety and security and nautical traffic management in the port 24/7, and we have to do that. If you just take the Port of Antwerp platform, that's 120 square kilometers. So how do you do that? Well, by using modern technologies, we create what we call a digital nervous system on top of the physical port, where we are able to hear, smell, see and touch what is taking place in the port by deploying all kinds of innovative technologies like smart cameras, sensors, drones and what have you. And all that data, we bring that together in a digital copy of the port, the digital twin, that allows us to do 3 things. First of all, situational awareness. What is taking place in the port right now? And then from there on into prescriptive, that tells our people, look over there because there is something happening and it needs your attention. And then finally, to become predictive is to be able to tell our people what's going to happen 2 hours into the future.
Sustainability and energy efficiency is a very important topic, and I know it's also a topic that is very close to you. but can you tell me about what the port is doing around that, and can you give an example?
Well, the relevance is we are not just a port, we're also an industrial and energy cluster, because we are the home port of the largest chemical cluster in Europe and one of the biggest in the world. And that also means a lot of CO2 emissions. But since our mission is we want to be a catalyst towards a sustainable future, we want to build the solutions to solve that issue and go from fossil-based to non-fossil-based solutions. Now, what does that mean? We're going to transform the port, or are transforming the port, become a hydrogen import hub. We are capturing CO2 to put it into empty gas fields. We are building the first hydrogen-powered tugboat on the planet. We are already the largest onshore windmill park in Belgium. We're deploying solar panels. We're providing alternative propulsion fuels like methanol and so on. So we do a broad scale of things to reduce the footprint and follow the footsteps and the goals of Europe, being Fit for 55 and the Green Deal up to 2030 and 2050.
Very, very impressive. Hey, another topic that is very important and very hot these days is everything around security. And I think if you talk about the port and the ecosystem here, you have both the cyber security and the physical security. And again, technology plays an important role there, I guess.
It is. First of all, cybersecurity, as I said, as part of the smart port, it's not just the opportunity of digital, it's also dealing with the threat, and we take that very seriously in the sense that we are preparing ourselves for the day a cyber attack happens. How do you mitigate that? Make sure that you go back to a normal situation as fast as possible. We're also part of the operators of essential services under the European NIS directive, so we are under compliance regulations, so that also helps to set the goal forward. That's what cyber is all about. Then at the physical level, securing the port, again we are a critical infrastructure. Their technology by means of smart cameras, drones, sensors can enable to create what we call a virtual fence around the port.
So Microsoft is investing in cloud data centers in Belgium at the moment. What kind of possibilities unlocks that for the port and its ecosystem?
That's a good question. Well, what we find interesting in that decision to go for local data centers, since we are critical infrastructure, we need that digital infrastructure to be very close by. Proximity is key for us. So that's why we think it's a good idea, and we salute that. Secondly, it will enable us to go after new use cases, latency sensitive use cases that are now probably not feasible. And thirdly, after having that basic infrastructure, these cloud data centers in place, it will drive a local ecosystem of partner and innovative solutions we can benefit from. So that's all the three things that at the top of my mind I see coming out of this decision by Microsoft.
Okay. Aaron, I thank you so much for this interview. So we've heard how cloud is changing the heart of justice, and we've heard how cloud is changing the heart of the economy here at the Port of Antwerp-Bruges. But where is this cloud? As I've mentioned, cloud is grounded in data centers, large physical buildings with thousands of servers. In Belgium, we're not building one data center, but actually 3 clusters of data centers. But that's a story for next time.